Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, of the Sukhavati, the Western realm of utmost bliss, the main head of Sukhavati, Amitabha Tathagata. Semu, Tanzang Gyatso, Tutan Siti, Tutan Kama, all Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples on the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
Aiste Yanange Oraniko Tekero mucho Sukoi Ichiba Kimoji Kim Yapu Purin Purin Konnichiwa.
First, I would like to announce next Sunday, December 17th, at 3 p.m., there would be hiking Avalokitesvara Homa fire offering ceremony. We all chant the hiking sutra. Most of the True Buddha School students, disciples, would chant hiking sutra. The hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra during the Tang Dynasty has been chanted by many people, and in the Sui Dynasty, Tang Dynasty has been popular and widespread until now. Even in Shikoku, Japan, at the 88 spiritual centers of Gobo Daishi, there has been the Japanese version of Hiking Sutra. So it's spread to Japan too, and Japanese, chanted by the Japanese. And the mantra is the mantra of the 7 Buddhas for the karma eradication. And he's wearing the crown of the 7 Buddhas, the 7 past Buddhas. And the mantra is the karma eradication mantra of the 7 Buddhas. And the mudra so the inner Dharma wheel turning, or the outer mudra for turning the Dharma. So this is the inner turning of the Dharma wheel, and this is the outer turning of the Dharma wheel.
这一尊高王观世音经，我是每天念。
We chant it every day. I never skip a day.
大家都是念说1000遍。
Everybody chant 1,000 times, but not only that for me. I chanted more than that. I don't know how many times. I had never counted them.
能救生死苦，
Because
要
it can alleviate the suffering of life and death and eradicate all sufferings. Just due to these phrases,
就念。
I chanted.
我第一次看到高王观世音经，
The first time I encountered hiking Vimalakirti Sutra was given by Si Huiling, the Venerable Si Huiling,
家人
an ordained
他给我
Sangha,
这本高王经，
and he gave me the hiking Vimalakirti Sutra.
亲身
The first time I encountered
山
his statue was at San Yi in Taiwan.
多的妖佛殿，很多的佛像，
In that place, there were many Buddhist statue shops, and I encountered the hiking Avalokitesvara statue there.
谢谢大家。我们下个礼拜做高王观世音经。
Next week, we will perform the Homa of hiking Avalokitesvara
念高王
Bodhisattva.
经的，
So, if you chant the hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra, then you should register for primary supplicants. Otherwise, it would be meaningless, right? You chant the hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra, and yet you don't become primary supplicants, and you don't become merit holders, and you don't do anything, and it's just lip service.
那今天我们做阿弥陀佛的护法，
So today we perform Amitabha Homa. And there's no need to say more about Amitabha Buddha.
但是也稍微讲一点。
But let me say a few things.
当初红教的传承，
Back then, the lineage from the Nyingmapa or the Red Sect is through the Venerable Mang Liao Ming,
从西康
Master Nonar,
中原
from Xikang to the Central Plains.
他最后讲
And the last one he spoke on
是讲悟经会通，
was about the 5 sutras,
会通
the penetration of the 5 sutras.
跟他是一语
And the Venerable Mang Liao Ming and him were both friends and teachers' disciple. That's why I have the lineage from Nyingmapa.
蒙那上师讲
Master Lorna
最
said,
大的法
the greatest Dharma is the Dharma of Amitabha Buddha, spoken by Master Norna.
在美国旧金山
In San Francisco, United States,
门大桥的附近，
near the Golden Gate Bridge,
一位上师
there was a master
陈建明上师，
and called Master Chen Jianming.
他是82岁圆寂，
He passed into Nirvana at 82. And the last sutra that he spoke on
会通
was on this 5 sutras.
就是罗那上师的。
of Master Nora.
他是密教的密行尊者。
He's a Tantrika, as you all know.
葛林巴
In
20
Kalimpa, India, he was in retreat for 25 years, Master Chen Jianming.
最后讲
And the last one that he spoke on
会
was this penetration on the 5 sutras that includes Amitabha Sutra,
无量寿经
the Sutra of Infinite Life,
寿经大世界
or Amitabha
圆通藏
Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra, and Amitabha Dhyana Sutra,
还有
and Mahastama Prapta Perfect Penetration Sutra, and the treatise on
可能我记得
deliverance.
差错
There may be this 5, but there may be slight discrepancy. It's not guaranteed that this
经会中跟我们是的
penetration of the 5 sutras,
中只有3经1论
because in the Pure Land sect there are actually just 3 sutras and 1 treatise, and plus 1, which is Mahastama Prapta's Perfect Penetration Sutra. And the 3 sutras are the Amitabha Sutra, Amitabha Dhyana Sutra, and the Sutra of Infinite Life, or Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra, plus the treatise for being reborn in the Pure Land, plus the Mahastama Prapta Perfect Penetration Sutra. They're all about Amitabha Buddha. Once you get to Sukhavati,
有2个条件
there are 2
不可以少善
qualifications. You cannot lack good roots or good virtues. You have to be a good person. Doesn't matter how much.
要一心不乱的念头
Second, you need to be single-minded in chanting the Buddha's name.
圣自然
And the 3 sages of the West will naturally appear and guide you there.
极乐世界
Once you get to Sukhavati, you would hear the graceful, harmonious sound, and naturally, automatically, you would be mindful and chanting the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and cultivate the 37 aids to enlightenment,
就是4念住
which are the 4 mindfulness, 4 right exertions, 4 transcendent travel, 5 roots, 5 powers, 7 branches of realizations, and the Eightfold Noble Path.
你就可以成就
Then you can have attainments.
所以是这个是最好的方法
So this is the best way, the best method. And I'm doing it myself.
所以陈建明上师他最后
So Master Chen Jianming's
经典
last sutra
上师的
was
经会通
Master Nora's 5 sutras on Amitabha.
非常重要。
That's why Amitabha Buddha is extremely important. The other day I heard
那个仙人他在破这个利顿的
Sharon was playing the mantra of Green Tara
他唱的
several times.
节奏那么好，
To chant them like the Green Tara mantra would be rather impossible.
声音
My voice is hoarse now. It would be impossible to sing it so well, but I was very touched hearing it.
Om Tale Tu Tale Tu Le So Ha 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 我听地度母的心咒。
Hearing Queen Tara's mantra several times, and I found the mantra is excellent, not just the one we have.
Om 阿弥陀佛 Om 阿弥陀佛 我几乎被这个咒音啊敲的。
I almost beaten up by the mantra that my head split and dizzy. How can't you be gentle and tender?
Om Tale Tu Tale Tu Le So Ha 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 我们总要有这些拍子出来嘛。
We want to have melody. Always don't be like this.
脑袋都被这个蛤蟆给敲得快要死掉。
I feel like my head is being hammered, that I almost die.
好，你播。
Okay, please play
我
it.
那个声音很好听的。
It's beautiful voice.
大家听了感觉怎么样？
How did you feel listening to it?
咒音就是要这样子，
Mantra chanting should be like that,
让大家心里有一种
so people feel good about it.
应该柔的时候要柔，
When it should be tender, it should be tender. Like for herukas, that you have to be strong. But Amitabha Buddha,
阿弥陀佛是很好，
of course,
念的咒
the Amitabha Buddha that was chanted was good, but the mantra was not. The mantra should be gentle too.
钢的金刚神的，我们用钢的没有。
But for Vajra and Dhamma protectors, it's okay to use strong ones. But the other deities should be very gentle ones
能够宁静
or soft.
下，
So by hearing them, you would feel peace and harmonious
把我们敲的
and serene,
不是杀猪的
not
声音
being beaten up or shrieking sound.
地吽，各人生地吽，不然就是阿弥地瓜塞，阿弥地瓜塞，这是杀猪的声音啊！
That's the sound of killing pigs.
以后那个咒音的
In the future, the
这样
mantra chanting production should be like this. Just 4 melodies.
听那心里很祥和，
So nice. You feel so good listening to it.
那个唱诗班，
Just listen to the hymns in the churches. There is no such thing like what we have.
我会很
The
喜欢
choir is very nice, kind and gentle and beautiful. I love them.
也是唱诗班的，
In the past, I was also in the choir.
怎么讲都不对，
Doesn't matter what I said,
就是一个调，
it still didn't work.
念咒就是一个调，
It's just one tone.
调会不会？
Can't you use 4 different melodies? Oh my gosh. Amitabha.
讲个笑话吧。
Let me share a joke.
老公头有些不舒服，
The husband had some
老婆就
headache,
帮他按摩按摩。
so the wife is helping him rubbing and massaging his head.
告诉我，
And the wife asks,
婚以前
"So tell me, before we got married, who is massaging your head?"
老公讲了一个
And the husband replied,
能发出肺部之言。
uh,
婚以前
honest words from his heart, because I never had headache before marriage. 儿子被爸爸修理， The son
妈妈说
was reprimanded, scolded by the dad,
打你的儿子，
and he went to mom and said, "So what would you do if someone beats your son?" And mom replied, "Well, I would beat his son as a revenge."
这是一个作文，叫做怕怕。
This is a composition.
这个小朋友写，我现在发现了，带
It's written by a young student
带着老字的都不好惹，
that anything that starts with old is
大
not easy to deal with.
大了，
Oh, this is only in Chinese, like mice, all with an old.
老师，
Yeah, it's only meaningful in Chinese.
结婚以后呢，怕老；如果我出差了，怕老亡。有一个老字的都不好惹。
Any terms that start with old,
我们这一辈
it's not easy to deal with, including wife, old boss. Like in Grandmaster's generation,
老爸
also the
听到
big boss or the old boss,
我们这一辈
everybody would be scared to hear that. Yeah, it's just a Chinese pun. Everybody is grown old,
我们生活中啊，
so we have a new name for True Buddha School, a new title called Elder.
本来就很怕老的，他还
I'm afraid of the term quote unquote old, and then now they created this title, the Elder. So wouldn't you be afraid of him?
现在进入你问我
Now we'll do the Q&A.
莲花
Question from Malaysia by the Dharma tutor Junlun. Homage
吉祥
to Grandmaster.
师尊提起八关斋戒，
Be auspicious. I have heard you mention about the 8 precepts of fasting. Consulting the Buddhist Encyclopedia, according to the Upasika
不能常
Dosaka,
的戒律，
lay practitioners, due to myriad household affairs, cannot always observe strict precepts for long periods. So the Buddha especially established these precepts for diligent lay practitioners.
八关斋戒，
Please kindly expound on the merits and benefits of observing the 8 precepts of fasting.
我可以
2. Can lay disciples observe the 8 precepts of fasting for a fixed period of time? For example, for 3 days, 7, 14 days, etc.
回向
And then dedicating the merit to Grandmaster and all beings in the Dharma realm.
道场的罗举
Can True Buddha School organize
的戒会，
a ritual for the 8 precepts of fasting?
戒法
This would allow
戒功的
participants
向所愿，
to apply the precepts and dedicate the merit to their wishes.
大马
May you stay healthy
病人，
and live a long life with self-mastery.
根据萨婆多
According to
佛沙八关斋戒为一天
Sabodo Pini Piposa,
清净的戒律，
the 8 precepts that should be held in these 8 precepts of fasting include not to kill, not to steal, not to indulge in sexual activity,
华丽之床，
not to lie, not consume alcohol, not to sit on high and luxurious seats or beds,
的床
referring to beds for sleeping or seats used for meditation.
不做高大广华丽之床，
Not to sit on high and large
图像
seats or beds, not to wear garlands, use perfumes,
还有
or watch or listen to singing and dancing.
八个戒律，
And the 8th precept is not to eat at inappropriate times.
以后你不能吃，
When it's not meal time, you cannot eat.
这是八关斋戒，
These are the 8 precepts of fasting.
不杀生，不偷盗，不邪淫，不妄
This is according to Sarvastivada Vinaya Vibhasa.
戒律，这是一般
not to kill, not to steal, not to lie, not to consume alcohol, not to indulge in sexual activity. These are the 5 precepts maintained by Buddhists. And then, in addition, not to sit on a high and large seats or beds, not to wear garlands or use perfumes. So you just let your hair in disarray then. Cannot use perfumes. Cannot use ointment. You cannot tidy up your hair, and you cannot eat when it's not meal times. And as part of this, sometimes there's restrictions on meals, like you only eat lunch, and you don't eat after lunchtime. For some, it's more strict, and you can just drink a little bit or milk, and no meals after lunch. Merits and benefits. If you pay attention, precepts can generate meditative stability, and from meditative stability you can generate wisdom. That's the benefits. So precepts is for purification. If you maintain the precepts for the whole day, over several days, for 7 days, then in these 7 days, that represents the purity of the body, speech, and mind, and that's the merit. So purity is merit, yet you cannot be thinking about the merit. In the Vimalakirti Sutra, it states that you just be pure in body, speech, and mind. And the speech, and sometimes you cannot speak as part of these 8 precepts of fasting. You cannot chat. You cannot speak. That's the pure speech. Pure mind. After purifying the speech, you don't speak, you don't watch, you don't hear the songs, you don't watch TVs. Then you have nothing on that day. Then your mind is also pure. Your mind becomes pure because you don't encounter anything. When we all do the 8 precepts of fasting, and then if you vow or follow not to speak, then your speech is pure and your mind is pure. And for the body, not to kill, not to steal, not to indulge in sexual misconduct, not to lie, not to drink alcohol, and not to wear perfumes. And for the hair, just wash it clean. You don't need to do a special hairdo. And you don't wear beautiful clothes, just regular clothes. Now they have special clothes for lay practitioners, similar to the ordained practitioners. But they're loose and comfortable, and they use dull colors, grays, shirts and pants, and the same for both men and women. Those are the clothes worn during this period of time. They don't wear beautiful clothing. They don't dress up. They don't put on makeup. No lipsticks. And no fake eyelashes either. And don't eat at inappropriate times. They eat the same food and vegetarian food. No fish, no meat, no killing for them. Nothing. Then that's the merit of the pure body, speech, and mind. A question from Lianhua Jinren Dharma tutor. Of course, we can do it. 7 days, 1 week. And there's 1 day, 3, 7 days. 7 may be too long. Maybe you start with 1 day, and then 3 days, and then 7 days. And then you do it your whole life. So that's how spiritual cultivation too. So like for the marathon, then you start with 100 meters, and then 1 kilo, and then 10 kilo, and then you do marathon. So you start from the short distance. If you never run before, you don't start with the marathon right away. It's the same in spiritual cultivation. We go step by step. So some people say, I just want to perform the great Dharma practices and not the fundamentals or the minor ones that you're building on sand. It's not solid. The 4 fundamental practices or the 4 preliminaries are very important, because without good foundation, it would be very difficult to practice the Tantric Dharma. Grandmaster practiced the non-leaking body, not to leak any light drops. I spent at least 5 years on it. And I train until it's completely that I don't leak not even a drop of light drops. So in the ceremony in Hsinchu, Simu give confirmation that Grandmaster can do it for however long you want, and definitely will not leak out anything, will not emit anything. So that can be done. And in a few months, Grandmaster will be 80 according to Taiwanese calendar. About 2 to 3 months, Grandmaster will be 80. 80. And I can still set up a tent and still non-leaking. So you need to have such power. Only that would be called the non-leaking body. Grandmaster is a real practitioner. I'm very good at it. I do it every day. I practice this until I have no more leakage from the body. And I always regarded that I would never get sick. I have great power. And it turned out I was beaten by the Western medicine. It's very toxic. really, medicines are very toxic.
我能够修到这样子，修到身
I
体
can practice it until like this, having non-leaking body.
经过这一次的病苦，自己终于了解。
So, but by going through the suffering of illness this time, I finally understood the word spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha, impermanence, that everything is impermanent.
你想想看，
Everything is impermanent. Think about it.
释迦牟尼讲的是什么？
Was spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. When there is life, when there is birth, there would be death. When there is strength, there would be weaknesses. When there is prosperity, there would be desolation.
你自己修得很好，
So don't think that you practice really well.
身体也会衰败。
Even when you practice really well, your body will also deteriorate.
也是一样会死。
And all the same, you would die.
我把自己身体练得很好。我告诉你，我每天做200下的伏地挺身，从来
I train myself really well. I do 200 push-ups every day. Every day.
从来没有停过。
I never skip a day.
我年轻的时候当兵，
From when I was young in the military, I do push-ups every day until now.
没有停过。
I never stopped.
有人讲说，
And someone said,
病了，你
but you're sick
你先拜佛，
and you come to Rainbow Temple and then you perform prostration and do 30 push-ups.
每天
So
100下，
how come you're not sick? Looking at you like that, but even when I'm sick, I still do 200 push-ups every day. My physical body may be ill, but my Dharma bodies are never ill.
他们台湾雷藏寺的来，
Those come from Taiwan Lechang Temple with one goal, is to wish me to go back to Taiwan, and I told them I will go back, and I'm there in Taiwan every day. My Dharma body will go back with you to Taiwan.
达拉斯的三轮雷藏寺，
And from the Sanlun Kalachakra Dharma Association from Dallas, there's also someone who's seen Grandmaster's Dharma body. Can you stand up and share with us?
拿麦克风给他，你要站起来要讲话。三轮雷藏寺的，
My name is Lianhua Isi. In 2008, at my factory, I saw Grandmaster. And Grandmaster told me to open the door twice. And you wore clothes like today, similar, without wearing the five Buddha crown at my company. And then I often see Grandmaster in my dreams telling me what to do. Thank you, Grandmaster.
你没有讲重点。
But you didn't talk about the key point.
后了，
When you opened that door, after I opened that door, and I asked someone to appraise 1,800. And I asked the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, should I open this door? And they didn't answer. Oh, so it's shown you, and why did you still ask? And they said yes. So after opening that door, my business has been going really well. And they asked me, what did you do? I don't know. It's the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are doing it. I really don't know how to do it. Dallas from the Kala Chakra temple there. And Yang will also speak. The precious Grandmaster, Living Buddha Lien Sheng, Grandmaster's Dharma bodies are omnipresent everywhere. I took refuge in 1982. For this long period of time, it's because of Grandmaster's omnipresent Dharma bodies, always continually blessing and encouraging us to continue moving forward. One thing that's very real is in 1996, I came to Seattle to attend the Emperor Liang's dependence ceremony. And after that, returning to Dallas, my body got sick. I went to the hospital, and they told me to have a surgery, a major surgery. So I decided to have the surgery, and during the surgery, Master Lien Zhen told me, don't worry, we just did the repentance. And then Grandmaster is supporting. No need to be scared. Although the doctor said they took my blood and did all kinds of exams, I have to prepare for all the bloods. And there were 3 surgeons operating on it. And after the surgery, on the surgery table, they inject the anesthesias, and it was I was very conscious, and I could hear everything that's going on. And I also heard the True Buddha Sutra very clearly. And after that, when in ICU, when I woke up, I recovered, and the doctors found it very strange. There was records in the Memorial Hospital. There was only blood where they cut, but there was no major bleeding, and this was all due to Grandmaster's blessings. And that night, I was still lying in the hospital, and the doctor said it will take you 5 to 10 days before you leave the hospital. And that night, Grandmaster clearly, why am I saying this? Because yesterday at the Seattle Lechang Temple, right in front, the photo of Grandmasters wearing the triangular crown was the same as the Dharma body of Grandmaster that I saw on the hospital wearing that crown. The whole person was being covered by Grandmaster. And Grandmaster, you're here? And Grandmaster said, yeah. And Grandmaster covered me with it, and my whole body felt really warm. And the Vajra Master Lien Zhen was next to me. Why is it so hot? Could you turn up the aircon? And then he said, it's already very cold, but I felt really hot, my whole body. And then the next day, I could get up. I never exercised, but the next morning, I woke up and I felt very energetic. I don't know what happened.
我不需要
So
吃麻醉药，我不需要
I don't need to
东西都在我旁边，通通不需要。
take
今天
painkillers or anesthesia. They're all just next to me.
为什么
That's why we want
所有
to
的生命
meet the Guru, why we want to offer our life,
是真正的救济我们，就没有
because without Grandmaster's Dharma bodies helping us, we will not be here today. Om Mani Padme Hum. 好啦，讲个笑话吧。 Now let me share a joke.
老婆一直喜欢买彩券，几年了，
The wife loves to buy lotteries, and for years she always buys the same numbers. Every time we're in argument, she would say, if I win millions of dollars, the first thing I would do is to divorce you.
我也不担心，
But I just ignore her, and I'm not worried at all because I buy the same lotteries and with the same numbers
给双倍。
and with twice the amount. 这个笑话是说，我跟老婆是 And my wife and I knew each other through a blind date.
相亲了30
And when I heard that she had dated over 30 people and did not like anyone, so I thought, oh, this lady must be really excellent
我就前妻
and was superior to everyone. And then we were on a date and she liked me. And then on the wedding night, I asked her, why did you like me? And the wife was very shy because none of those 30 people liked me. It's not that she didn't like them, it's like they didn't like her.
老婆问老公，老公啊，如果
The wife asked the husband,
千万买我，你会卖吗？
if someone is buying
坚决的
me with
当然不会。
$10 million, will you sell it? Will you sell me to him? And the husband has, of course not. And the wife's very pleased. Oh, I'm glad that you didn't want to let
多钱
me go.
总不能让
And the husband said, but you're not worth 10 millions.
送你的气，
That they would lose buying you and still have to suffer.
好，我们讲那个维摩诘经，这里就是讲病的。
Now we'll expound the Vimalakirti Sutra talking about illnesses.
如是兼除老病死者，菩萨之位也。也就是
Similarly, a bodhisattva is one who eliminates old age, illness,
病死
and death.
你都可以看破，
So it means that you can see through birth, aging,
生老
sickness, and death.
都完全看破了，这个才是菩萨。
So when you can transcend or see through
做事念
birth, aging, illness, and death, then you're a bodhisattva.
这样子的气息，
A bodhisattva with illness should also think in this way.
非真非有，
Just like my illness, which is neither real nor existing, the illness is not real.
是有病。
He's not ill.
萨应该这样子想，
A bodhisattva should think that the illness is not real,
这个病，
that the illness doesn't really exist, And it's the same with the illnesses of sentient beings. They are neither real nor existing. So the illnesses are not real and they do not exist. So you should think this way. In this view, one should abandon compassion arising from love for all sentient beings. Because of love, you generate a great compassion, and you should abandon that too. You should eliminate that too. It's wrong to have love because that's a kind of attachment. For example, you view sentient beings equally. You cannot be kinder to a specific person and less to others. That should not be. So compassion should be directed toward everyone. So you cannot be biased. Because when you have bias, then that's grasping and forsaking. I don't like you. I don't love you. And you only love the ones that you like. That's a kind of attachment. So you should eliminate that. So you should abandon compassion arising from love. Why is that? Because a bodhisattva eliminates afflictions of this dusty world and develops great compassion. The so-called bodhisattva should forsake all afflictions, inverted thinkings, and all scattered thinkings. And the dusty guest, all mine are just guests. Afflictions, incorrect views are all guests of the dusty world. Greed, anger, delusion, doubt, pride, they are all guests of the dusty world. So bodhisattva should eliminate afflictions of this dusty world and then develops great compassion to help sentient beings. One who is compassionate out of attachment will feel weary of life and death. If you're sick, a sick bodhisattva, like I often say, I have no attachment toward the Saha world. You should not think that way. I don't have any attachments. But the sick bodhisattva should not think that way. Because you should not be weary of it or tired of it or sick of it, because that's a bias. If you're biased toward nirvana, toward being reborn to Pure Land, or you like to go to the Moon River, the marvelous scene at the Moon River, or you want to return to the Star River, which is the title of my book number 300, returning to the Star River. Because I'm sick of the Saha world. I want to return to the Star River in the heavens. That's not right. So, if you feel weary or you feel sick of the Saha world, of life and death, you want to abandon life and death.
持无有疲厌，你能够离开娑婆世界，但是你对娑婆世界。
But if you can be free from this, if you can abandon the Saha world, yet you have no weariness or you're not sick of the Saha world. What is Vimalakirti saying here? Oh my gosh.
又要在娑婆。
You want to be in the Saha world, you can abandon the Saha world, but not abandoning it and not weary of it. And you're not sick of it,
受苦受难。
or not be tired of it.
我觉得地藏王菩萨很好。
Else you're here suffering. I find Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is great. He prefers to be in hells rather than attaining Buddhahood. He vowed not to become a Buddha before hells are empty. And Mother Teresa is the same.
我不会去。
The heavens are there, but I will not go there. I want to be with the sentient beings in the dark, helping them. That's why they're saints. Saint Teresa in Catholicism. She said she would not go to the heavens. I will stay in the darkest, lowest level of the world to be together with them, helping them.
这个是牺牲奉献的精神。
So that's the spirit of offering and forsaking.
所以这个才是伟大。
And Siddhigarbha is the same. Only this are great.
离开娑婆世界，但是你对娑婆世界没有疲劳感，没有。
So you can abandon Saha world, but you're not weary of it or disgusted by it.
不是偏爱，有见解。
So wherever they are born, they will not be overshadowed by attachment and love. They have no bias. Bias toward either side is no good. So transcending the world is the same as staying in the world, and worldly is the same as beyond worldly. That's why afflictions are bodhi or enlightenment, and life and death is the same as nirvana. These are the several key points in the Vimalakirti Sutra. Life and death is nirvana. Affliction is enlightenment.
它真的是属于中道。
So this belongs to the middle way. What's spoken by Vimalakirti is the middle way.
能为众生说法，
Being unbound in any birth, they can teach Dharma to sentient beings.
没有束缚，
Let me tell you, if you can be free from any bondage,
能够为众生说法，
only when you are liberated yourself, you can teach sentient beings and free them from their bondages. If you're bound, how can you untie the bondage of sentient beings?
没有被绑的人才能够解掉。
Only those without bondage can release others from their bondages.
一定是不被绑的人。
So those giving Dharma teaching on the Dharma throne must be those without any bondage, because only they can deliver sentient beings and to free them from their bondages.
你如果被绑起来，
If you're held in bondage,
解你的绑，你都被绑了。
and then you say that you can alleviate the bondage of others, how can you? You yourself are held in bondage. So they should be liberated before they can help others be liberated.
我所讲，
As the Buddha said,
能
if one is bound, they cannot free others from their bounds, from their bonds, their bondages. Because they are held in bondage themselves. There's no use if they want to help others. But if one is not bound, then they can free others from their bondages. Only that would work. Therefore, a bodhisattva should not be bound, should never be bound by what you like, because once you like something or you prefer something, then you would be bound by what you like. If you love something, then you would be bound by that. It would be troublesome. Whatever you like or love, you would be bound by it. So you need to have self-mastery. How? Because when you let go of everything, then you have self-mastery. And if you cannot let go, then you would be bound. So in the Saha world, they are all people in bondages. When a girl wants to break up with the boyfriend killed her. So he's bound by that girl. There are so many flowers in the world. Why are you binding yourself with one flower? But the dumb ones just bound themselves by it. And at first he loved her and it became hatred and then killed her. Now we have so many news like this. That's so shameful that you love too much to become attachments, grasping. This kind of things happen a lot. When they are fired, they kill the employer, kill the best friends. This happened a lot. These people are held in bondage. And we see people in this world are all held in bondages. They cannot let go. You need to understand to release the bondages that are on you. There is nothing that belongs to you. There is nothing to gain. There is nothing to own. There is nothing to get. And there is nothing the matter. This world is fundamentally empty. So why are you bounding yourself to death? There really is nothing. What is it that you want? What is it that you want? Even love doesn't exist. Fundamentally, it never exists. These are all off. You're down the rabbit holes and you can never get out of it. These are all wrong. So an ill bodhisattva should view the illness to be nothing. And they have no dislike or weariness towards the Saha world. So transcending the world is the same as staying in the world. Worldly is the same as beyond worldly. Loving is the same as not loving. Not loving is the same as loving. And just be natural. That would be good. Just be natural. Just be natural when you get along with others. You cannot force it. I don't like this word, forcing. People don't like to be forced, and you don't want to force others, and you don't want to be forced yourself either.
什么都不要勉强。
Nothing. Don't force anything. Then everything is free, and then you have self-mastery. Forcing is a crime.
就是把
Forcing is sin. That's a bondage. 5:30.
很好。
Very good.
我们那边
Oh, Mani Padme Hum.